Floros and live class with Beadaholique. It is July 29th, you guys. Can you believe we're at the end of July? It really is hard to believe. Hey, Eric, welcome. So we are here today for another live class, and I'm grateful that you all join and that you're hanging out with me today. As you know, our dear beadaholique.com is going away, but we are going to have some fun until the very end. We're just going to enjoy ourselves. We're going to continue to give you some content and make sure that we're putting the product in front of you that you don't want to miss out on because, well, everything is 30% off. So the current closing sale for beadaholique.com is 30% off of everything. So you don't need a special code. You don't need any kind of fancy coupon. Everything is 30% off. It's all marked that way. So if you are shopping around and taking a look at your favorite products, just know that they are 30% off and they are going fast. I was just on the site this morning looking for something, and I saw things are just selling down so very quickly. So don't miss out on all of the wonderful products. Let's see who's here. Oh my gosh. Hi, Tanya. Hello, Jane in Michigan. Michelle is here. Hi, Michelle. Christy R is here. Hi, Christy. Becky is here from scorching heat in South Georgia. Ooh, I'm sorry, Becky, because I know it's humid there too. Hi, Tilly. Hi, Bobby Jansky. So glad to see you. Francie in KC is here. Lisa said, I only wish you had Rivolis and Chatons. Yeah, things are selling down, Lisa. They are going away fast. Hi, Kara. Hello, Kathleen from steamy South Florida. Sandra is here from steamy hot Indiana. Oh my gosh, it's steamy everywhere today. Susan J is here from Seattle. Francie is here from KC. Excited for this class. Yay, I'm glad to hear that. Sheila in Massachusetts. Lisa in PA. Loretta Hanson from New Mexico. Leanne from Virginia. Oh my gosh. Santa Barbara girl, love you too. Love you back. Mwah, mwah. Debbie J is here from Oregon. Leah is here from 90-degree Maine. Oh my gosh, yikes. Cynthia from Texas. Oh my gosh, you guys. Eileen from Rockledge, Florida. I think I got to the end, so I'm stopping there for a moment. So I'm coming to you from Arizona, where it's heated up again. We had some nice temperatures for a little while, and now it's not steamy here. It's dry heat, as you know, the famous joke, but it's hot. So I'm going to be venturing out later today, and I'm going to bring lots of water with me, a wet towel, lots of electrolytes. I got to get out there later today. So yeah, I'm not terribly looking forward to that. Yes, everybody's melting. Everyone is. So today is the perfect day for us to hang out and talk about Beadaholique and all of the fun products that you can still get at 30% off. And a little birdie told me that if you are an email subscriber, that you might want to check your email today. That's all I'm going to tell you. So if you have an email subscription, go check that email. Maybe not right this second, but check your email because there's something fun there. That's all I'm going to say. I can't reveal what it is. So, you guys, today what I have for you is fun. So I was trying to go through the site and see, you know, what things are available still, what can we do? And purse charms are like all the rage. Like everywhere I look, I see purse charms, and I'm seeing lots of tutorials out there and lots of great ideas. And I thought to myself, what if we made purse charms with 2-hole beads? So this is the one that started the whole thing for me. So this is my little crossbody bag. And I made this little colorful loop of 2-hole beads and it's in my favorite colors, in pink. And I was able to attach it with this large swivel lobster, which unfortunately, you guys, there are none of those available at beadaholique.com right now because they are closing shop. So, but I've got some different ways to show you how to make connections, but this is what started it all. Just a little colorful loop. And because 2-hole beads come in like a cajillion colors, different finishes, different, oh my gosh, different colors, the colors abound. And there's a lot of different shapes. So there's still some on beadaholique.com. So you can go. I put some in the show today, and there are a ton more. So if I would have put them all in the shop, Michelle and Eric would have had my head. But I put some in so that you guys could see some options. So what does that mean? I put them in the show. I put them in your shopping bag. So as a reminder, if you're watching on beadaholique.com/live, that is the best place to watch this show live. And it means that we can see your comments. So I can see Millie, who tells me she loves my earrings. Thank you, Millie. And Tanya is saying hello to Santa Barbara girl, so she can chit chat. So if you're watching on YouTube or Facebook, we would love for you to come on over because you can also participate in a giveaway we're going to do a little bit later. So we can't see your comments over on those other platforms. So if you come on over here, you can hang out with all of us and you can shop the show. So shopping the show is there's a little shopping bag icon on your screen. If you click on that, it's got all the products in the show. So all the 2-hole beads that I could get in there without Michelle giving me the and there are seed beads, and there are a few findings, a few other things, some tools. So everything in that shopping bag can be dropped into your shopping cart. So you can shop the show all while you watch. So you don't need to worry about losing the show. You can watch the show, listen to the show while you shop. So feel free to do that, or you can come back and watch the replay and shop the show as well. So if you want to pay attention to what we're doing today, you can watch and then come back and do the replay and put stuff into your shopping cart from there. And remember, some of these things are limited stock. Well, everything's limited stock technically, because once it's sold out, they're not going to replenish the shelves because of the closing thing. So thank you guys for being here. Thank you for watching. I'm going to flip my camera down. So give me a second here. And I've got the piece that was in the photo for the show today. And this is similar to the one I showed you on my bag. And I wanted to showcase this one because the beads for this one are really cool. And this kind of looks a little bit more like a handle. So you might have a little clutch bag or a little bag that you keep just your credit cards in, maybe some cash. And I've put a large split ring on this one. We're going to use these today. These are still available. Probably not many, but they are in the show. So if you want these, don't miss them. So this is just a very simple technique of stringing on seed beads and these 2-hole beads. And I thought I would show you these first because these beads are amazing. So these are called brick beads, and excuse me, they are 6 by 3 millimeter. And these are like a really fun green and yellow, and they are literally shaped like a brick. Let me find a lighter colored one. So look, they're just literally like the shape of a brick, and they have 2 holes in them. So that is your 2-hole brick bead. And these are such a beautiful design. I had never seen these before. I fell in love with them and I thought that they belonged with these super duos. So this is a super duo bead. If you're not familiar with the super duo, they have a 2-hole and they kind of, you won't be able to unsee this once you see it, but it almost looks like a little piggy nose. Or a little doggy nose even. And these are an electric green Metallust Matubo Super Duo. So look at the combination of these two beads. They just belong together. So I put these together and I added in some demi rounds, and they are in a nickel color. I'll show you again up close. So there are some little demi rounds in between. So I just put, 2 demi rounds in between each bead, and you'll see because they are 2-hole, you've got sets of 2 on either side. So this is super, super fun. And I made this one just a little bit too small to go around my wrist, but if I wanted to make this a little bit longer, this could be a great way to create that little handle or that little strap that you can use to carry a small bag, a little clutch, a little case that you might put just a few things in, and it can go around your wrist. So, so that's the first sample I wanted to show you. And let me put these guys away. I am crazy about these. So, don't miss these because they are probably some of the coolest 2-hole beads I've seen. And they look super artisan and cool. And these little super duos are such a cool color. I mean, I just can't take my eyes off of them. So those are fun, and these would go great with so many things. So let me show you another thing I was playing around with before we actually get into making today. So here's another one that I made, and this one is a little bit more muted. So that one was bright and electric, and this is using also more of those demi rounds. And then we've got these crescent beads, which are absolutely spectacular. And they also include, what did I put on these? These are also super duos. And I'll give you the colors and the names in just one second. But what I wanted to do with this one, and I might have to move my camera up, this is my favorite clutch. It's got a fold over front, it's got a zipper across the top, and it's got this spot for attaching the strap. So if you have something like this, this is one way that you can use a little purse dangle like this. So this is also in the show today. This is a split ring opener. This one is made by Zuron, and I am crazy about this. I'm going to have to do this way so that I can use my left hand. I am left-handed. So I'm going to take my my split ring opener, and I'm going to open up this split ring. And this split ring opener works for all different sizes of split rings. As you can see, this is a large one. And I actually may need to use my finger here because this is hard to do. I got to get the right angle to get this on here. So this is just a little place to put your embellishment, in my humble opinion. There we go. So I'm going to twist that ring on. And now I've got this cool little dangle that hangs off the side of my clutch. So it's got some cool shape to it. It's got some fun movement, and it matches my bag perfectly. So I thought this was kind of fun. So if you have those rings on your purses or your clutches or your tote bags, you might find little places where you can attach things. So this is what was on this bag when it came. So you could actually fit another one here on your zipper and still use your zipper pull. So this is just a fun way to embellish your bag, add a little bit of a personal touch. I'll show you which beads I used for this one. Let me put this back down. Hi, Kathleen from Texas. I didn't think I'd serve. Oh, I don't know. You guys are having a conversation I missed out on. So I got to open this up. So this is a super duo. This is in a 2x5 millimeter. It's cherub halo. Look at these. They are like a pink color with this super cool luminescent finish on them. So they just kind of have this luminous, ethereal look to them. So incredibly cool. So that's the color, quote unquote, that's in that particular charm. It's not a bright color, but it is a color. And then I've got metallics. Now, unfortunately, guys, this one is sold out, but there are others of this shape. This is a crescent bead. So this is what a crescent looks like. It is a little crescent with 2 holes. And you can see one side is rounded and one side is curved. So these are cool. Mary J, they are so cool. And Zilren, Rocha, they do catch the light. Those cherub halos catch the light for sure. So these are the metallic ones I used. They are a, what is the color? You know what? I don't even have the color, but you know, it doesn't matter because this one is not available, but there are others. So check the shopping bag for other crescents. We have, I think we have another one we're going to look at. And then for those, the first 2 projects I showed you, these are the demi rounds that I used. They are 11 O's. They are nickel. This is my favorite color, metallic seed bead. I use this for so many projects. I absolutely love them. And a demi round is like half the width of a normal traditional 11-0 round seed bead. They are great for spacers. So you can see in this piece, I stacked them and they create some cool dimension and some nice spacing. And even though I went halfway with a demi round, when you put 2 there, it just does something a little bit different. So yeah, it is like a donut, Tilly. It's like a little teeny tiny donut, which has no calories really. So that's the purse dangle for my clutch. Now I did a couple of other things. This one's kind of funky, might not be for everybody, but I created these little beaded loops. So I created these beaded loops with with one different 2-hole bead. So there are some super duos here. So there's this one, and let me pull out this set of beads. So this one has tile beads, which this particular color, unfortunately, guys, is sold out, but I put others in the show. This is a tile bead. So it's a little square that is 2-hole, and it is different from a tila. A tila is a little bit sharper edged. So this has a nice rounded curved edge. And yes, this would make a cool chunky necklace if you just made a bunch of these. So now's the time to stock up on them, you guys, if you want to do that, because you'll need a lot of these tile beads to do that. But yes, definitely a necklace like this in the future, Santa Barbara girl. So these are cool. So tiles can also be great to combine with your super duos. And this is a beautiful super duo. This is, let's see, a mint green pearl shine. So these are super beautiful. Look at that, like almost metallic color to them, or a metallic finish. super fun. So, you know, I put these two together, kind of a blue and a green together. And then I thought, let's grab some different seed beads. These are actually out of stock as well. They are a 15-0. They are metallic lined, like a metallic blue lined. They're crystal with blue lining. And unfortunately, those are out of stock, but there are some other seed beads in stock in a 15 that you can pick up. I believe I have some in the shopping bag. So this is just a fun little dangle. You could do more of them. This could also be something. So if I grab my, my bag again, I've got a loop here and I've got a loop here. What if I did a chain of these that dropped down all the way and showed up underneath my, my bag flap? So that's something to think about too. You could create a long chain, and these are just so easy to make. I mean, just so easy to make. And we'll play around with technique today that you can apply to all of these charms that I'm showing you. Let me set those aside. The next thing that I did was I created this fun little collection of what I call simple beaded beads. So I love beaded beads. I am not yet at the skill level that I can make the fancy, intricate ones, but I've shown off these simple beaded beads that I make a number of times. And I thought, wouldn't it be fun to take one of these split rings and put all of these little beaded beads on, and this becomes a fun bag charm. So I've got another metallic bag here. This is well loved by me. I think I even thrifted this one. It's more of a tote bag, and I'm pulling all the stuff off of my table here. Let me move all of these things. So it's got these thin straps, and I could attach it here to this strap, and I've just got a little fun embellishment on my bag. And with all of the color options and, you know, bead finish options, you've got so much possibility with something like this. Now, if you have one of those cool lobster claw, swivel lobster claws, you could attach that. That would make it really fun. So I thought I would show you this technique today, this beaded bead technique. It's a simple beaded bead. So all of you that have that skill to do the fancy ones, I commend you, but you're probably going to laugh at my silly little beaded beads. But these are using triangle beads and bar beads. And I'm going to show you those here in just a second. Before I move off of that, here's another tile bead that's in the show. This one is 2-hole, and it's a lovely shade of green. So this one is just a nice shiny one. So if you wanted to grab, you know, another tile bead to do something like this, or just combine for any other kind of embellishment opportunity, these are gorgeous. This color is so lovely. It's a really fresh color. So we're going to make a beaded bead, and I'm going to grab some crescents. So I showed you the crescents. They were with my little charm that I added to my clutch bag, and they are curved. And they are super fun. So this one is a peridot, and this one literally looks like peridot. So if you know the gemstone peridot, these really do look like peridot. So I'm going to put a few of those on my table here. And then I'm going to grab, I really like these seed beads for this project. For some reason, this color really looks cool with just about anything. This is antique bronze. This is a Toho 11-0. This is also one of my favorite metallic seed beads to work with. So I'm going to dump a few of those out on my table, and then we're going to get wild and crazy with our colors. So let's see. I'm going to grab this. This may sound nutty, but I'm going to use these with it. So I love the possibilities of color combinations. So color combinations, sometimes when you look at them separately, you think, I'm not sure how that's going to look. But when you actually put them together, they look amazing. So I'm going to show you that. I'm going to prove it to you. So you just need a small amount for a beaded bead. And I'm going to show you this one just as a sample. So this is with triangle beads, and I didn't show you a triangle bead yet. Let me show you those. There's some of these in the show as well. Let me show you these guys. So this is a triangle bead. It is a little triangle, has 2 holes on one side, and it matters the way that you string them on when you're working on a project. And I intentionally put them on strangely to give this a little bit of a different look. So ideally, most people will string them on so that the point of their triangle goes upwards. I actually strung mine so that some would go in the opposite direction. They do look like cat ears. Oh my gosh, that is so perfect. I love that comment. They do look like cat ears. So think of the possibilities of using these for projects. So I used bar beads, which are a little bit different. Let me show you those too. Let me just show you those so you guys can see them. They are also in your shopping bag. These are beautiful. These are different than the brick beads. So the brick beads, the green ones that we looked at in the beginning, are shaped almost like squarely, but these are a little bit flatter and rounder. So they have rounded edges, and they look like, when they are in a project, they look like a little bar. So I've got some options of these for you. This one is called, bear with me so I don't drop these. These are called Pacifica Strawberry, and they are a lovely color. This is a great color for right now. So if you love strawberries, that's a great one. That's a great one. So we're going to do this. We're going to create this with our crescents, and we're going to do something fun with how these go. And then we'll be able to, if we have multiples of them, we would be able to use them in this way. Also keep in mind, I'm going to show you this, and you can apply this to the chunky necklace we talked about. You can make a bracelet. You can do so many things. So I'm going to be using Fireline, but also in the show today, I've got 1G, I've got Wildfire, I've got all the threads for you guys. And you should be able to pick whatever you would like, and maybe you pick multiple things to try them out. So if this is not something that you've done before, and you're not sure what to get, given the price situation, the sale situation, it might be great to pick a few and see what you like best. It really is a personal preference. So I'm going to be threading my needle, and what I do is I take my my square nose pliers and I squash the very tip of my my thread. Now it's going to be hard for you to see, but that allows me to hold on to the very tip of that thread and pull it through my needle. I also have needles in the show. I've got tulip needles. I'm using a size 11. It's a little well loved. But I believe I've got different size needles available for you. I don't think I was able to get any 11s. I think the 11s may be sold out. So I'm going to put 2 of the 11 O's onto my needle. And I'm going to put a Super Duo onto my needle. I'm going to grab 2 more seed beads, put that onto the needle. Look how pretty that matte blue looks on. This is a suede, I think more of a suede bead, but it is super cool. It's a neon. And then I'm going to put on one of my crescent beads. And the holes on these are a little bit hard to see because it's a clear-ish bead. So from now on, I want to make sure that I string on the crescents in the exact same way, because if you string them if you put them on the other way, the orientation will be different. So I just want to make sure that I get them on going in the same direction. And I'm weird. I like to hold my seed beads rather than pick them up off my mat. I know that's weird, but I learned that way. So it's kind of the way I do it. So see how that looks together? It looks better than you thought it would, I bet. So the different finishes, the different textures on these beads, super cool. So the next crescent I want to put on going in this direction to make sure they are going in the same direction. 2 more seed beads. I want 3 of each bead of my main bead. So I'm putting on my Super Duo here, and then 2 more seed beads. And when I start with seed beads, I'm going to end with no seed beads. So I'm going to take a look at the orientation of my first 2 crescents. And now I've got my 3 Super Duos, my seed beads, and my 3 crescents. Silren says, I am so rough on my needles. Me too, clearly. So I'm going to put these onto my thread. And I've got about a little more than half of a wingspan. So if you know what a wingspan is, it's basically taking your arms and outstretching them, and you pull out your thread, whatever you're working with, and that is how you get your length. And usually for a small project like this, you don't even need that much, but I always like to have more when I'm teaching so that I don't run out and embarrass myself. So I'm going to take my needle, and I'm coming out of this guy here. I'm going to go over here, and I'm going to go back through those beads that I just put on. And it's very easy to miss a bead. So I'm going to be very careful and try to make sure I don't miss a bead. Especially for a small project like this, you want to make sure that you don't miss a bead, because it will be very visible and very obvious, and you won't like the way that it looks. And I did just miss some beads. So let me get my needle in the right position. And it's always hard. The very first pass is always hard. So I want these crescents to be facing outwards. So I love the idea of them facing outwards. So I'm going to take my needle now, and I'm going to pull through, and I'm going to create, if I can get my hands on everything, I'm going to create a loop. So the crescents are going to give you trouble. They're going to want to do their own thing. So we're going to do another pass through the beads. So I want to make sure I know where I'm coming from. So I'm coming out of this crescent, and I'm going to reinforce this now. So we've got our first pass done, but we want to go around the bead to reinforce this and tighten it up. So I'm going to keep going around and trying not to miss a bead. Again, that's probably the biggest challenge with this, is just making sure you don't miss a bead. So I'm going to go through, and that crescent wants to flip around on me, and eventually we're going to get them to tighten up and stay in place. But for right now, they're still going to want to spin around and do their own thing. So I'm going to just keep going around, and I like to go through at least 3 times to get the first row of beads nice and secure. So hard to show that on camera, but I'm going to go through as many beads as I can at a time. And it's completely up to you how you do this. You can go through 1 bead at a time if you prefer. It's totally up to you. And you have this tail to contend with. So I'm always trying to hold that tail off to the side, but it kind of gets in my way sometimes. So we're going to go through here. Monica says she loves the blue purple. It is a cool color. And I just think that sometimes, you know, the combination of beads that you pick can just be really interesting. So it can just like create a whole new thing. So you could do 10 of these beads, these beaded beads, and they could all be different. And each one is going to look so cool. And they'll all be, even if they're the same exact style of beads, if the colors and the finishes are different, you've got really different beads to work with. So coming out of that bead, and I want to get back to where I started. So I want to go back to where my tail is. And once you get this tightened up a little bit, you're going to be able to go through more beads. So I'm going to push my needle up right next to where my tail is. So you've got this wonky thing here. And what I want to do is I want to make sure that all of these crescents are going to face outwards. So you've got this really fun shape like this. But we've got 2 holes to work with. So we're going to do another row of seed beads and connect all of our beads, our 2-hole beads. So in order to do that, I have to take, so I've got my tail over here in my right hand. I'm going to take my needle and I'm going to go over on this crescent bead that I'm on. And I'm going to go down through the other hole. And it's going to create a little thread bridge that really is not that visible. And I've got to pull out my needle here a little bit. So it's visible, but it's not visible. I mean, no one's going to notice this. No one's going to know. And let's see. Am I getting this in the right orientation here? Yes. So I'm gonna hold on to this crescent, and I'm gonna pick up 2 seed beads, if I can get them onto my needle. And then I'm going to go through the other hole on my super duo, which is the next 2-hole bead. And then I'm now creating the path for the second row of beads, if that makes sense. So I just need to pull the end of my thread down a little bit. And I'm going to hold on to this next crescent to keep it in place. And I'm going to pick up 2 more seed beads. And I'm going to go down that next crescent bead, making sure that it is outward. And it's still going to be wonky for a little bit until we get this all reinforced. So that's how it's looking. Smoke color helps with the thread too. Yes. So I'm sorry, guys. I should have picked a darker thread to show you. My apologies. That was a total miss on my part. I got everything all situated and got some samples made, but then I didn't go back and pull out my darker thread. But color thread colored thread also works too with some of these designs, because you might want your thread to match. So maybe you've got some colors that really, you could pick some beautiful 1G out, and you can have your thread match your design, your little bead design. So this is looking good. Those little crescent beads are super fun. And then I'm going to grab a couple more seed beads and go through my super duo here. Oops, yeah, I got him. And now I just need 2 more seed beads, and we've got all of our beads added. So just to recap, you're only going to need to add your 2-hole beads once, and seed beads will be added twice. So here's our little shape. Pretty cute, huh? I love this shape. I love this fun little shape. So now it's all about reinforcement. So going through the beads and getting them reinforced and getting our shape to hold. So you want your shape to hold, and you want to get as much of the gapping out as you can. So did I skip a bead? See, it's still easy to skip a bead at this point. It becomes less so as as your piece tightens up, but it's still a risk as you go along, especially if you're kind of doing this and you're distracted. Maybe you're listening to an audio book and you get to that exciting part where they're about to catch the murderer. So that is how this is looking, you guys. I do like to go around about 3 times and get the bead reinforced. And it does get a little harder to go through. So I'm trying to look through the side here of the camera to make sure I'm getting through the right spots. And I want to get back to where my tail is. So this is feeling good. This is feeling really good. So my tail got caught up somewhere over here. So I'm going to have to get that guy out of there. I'll fix that in a second. There we go. So my tail is, there we go. All right. I want to get back to my tail. So I'm checking where I am, going through, oops, and my needle came off. So let me re-engage the needle. So cute. Thank you. I think these are super fun. So they're just easy peasy little beads. And this inspires me to want to try the more fancy ones. Someday I will. Someday I will try them. So let me just go back through these last few beads. Just have a few more to go through. And I want to get back to where my tail is. So I'm going through this guy, and that's where my tail is. So look at our pretty bead and look at the combination of these colors. So when I first dumped them out, I'm thinking, well, people might not like the way that looks, but they look pretty cool. So I'm going to take my needle. I'm going to go through this thread bridge here. So you've created a thread bridge, and it's a little tough to get through. Actually, for this one, I might go through another few beads and then grab my thread bridge to finish it. So I'm going to go through this one and see if I can get the knot in. So I'm going to create that loop with my thread, and I'm going to pull my knot tight like that. And then I've got I could take my tail and reinforce it. For the sake of class today, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to trim off. Now, I wish I could tell you we had some thread burners in stock, but we do not. I believe the last time Julie shared a beaded project, she sold all of the rest of what was in stock, but you can find thread burners out there pretty easily. So we're gonna get that guy trimmed off. So now we have our little beaded bead. So fun. And look at those crescent shapes sticking out. This almost looks like a little butterfly right here, right? So cute. Yes. Reminds me of Santa Barbara Girl. We were on the same page there. So this is fun. Thank you for the hearts, you guys. So this is one beaded bead that you can do pretty easily. Now, I'm going to show you one other idea that I have, and I'm going to show you how to do a little bit of a column kind of design. And we're going to take another item that you can use to embellish, and we're going to add that. And I'll grab that other item in 1 second. It is also in the show today. So this is cute. Loving our little beaded bead. I'm going to get my excess thread out of the way. Now, these are also available and in the show today. You can get a pack of these tassels. And tassels are great for bag embellishments, just on their own even. So you could take a few of these little tassels. They come on a little ring, little jump ring, and you could literally put these onto one of our rings, and you've got an instant bag embellishment. So put them all on and you've got an embellishment. But I thought it would be fun to add this to a 2-hole bead design. So we've got a little bit of time left. Let's do that. I'll show you what I'm thinking here. And this, I hadn't actually put a sample of this together yet. So I hope that this will actually work. I think it will work. So I'm going to trim off some of my fire line, set that aside. And sadly, I think these are sold out too. These are the best scissors in town for trimming thread. I don't know what I would do without them. I love them so much. They are tulip scissors, but they, I believe, are also a product that is long gone. So let's take this. And you know what? Before we do this, I think we should do the giveaway. You guys have been patient with me, watching me do this. So while I thread the needle, Michelle, get ready. So we're going to do a giveaway, and the giveaway works only if you are over here at beadaholique.com/live. That's the only way I can see your comments. We can see your comments. So I'm going to ask a question. So I'm going to take my time to ask, because if you're coming over from YouTube or Facebook, I would love for you to have a little bit of time to get logged in. So I'm going to ask a question, and the very first person to answer the question correctly in the comments at beadaholique.com/live is going to get 3 random tubes of 2-hole beads. So you can get a few 2-hole beads home to you, and you can start playing around, making some embellishments. You can take your little beads, add them to a ring. You can make all kinds of fun little bag embellishments, fun little things to hang from your bag. So 3 tubes of 2-hole beads that will be picked at random for you. So here's the question, and it's the first person to answer this question correctly. Today is July 29th. What famous marriage took place on July 29th. Probably one of the most famous weddings of our time. Well, at least my time. Some of you may be too young, but what famous marriage took place on this day, July 29th? Oh my goodness. I see the answer. I see the answer. I see them. You guys are on it. So Michelle is going to have to pick that first winner, the first person in the comments to get it right so that we can make sure we congratulate that person. And congrats to our winner, Marianne. Marianne, thank you for participating. Thank you all for participating. Marianne, get a hold of Michelle. She's going to send you some 2-hole beads. I don't know which ones you're going to get, but I can guarantee you whichever ones you do, you will love. You will love them. Okay. So thank you guys for playing. That was fun. So I'm going to grab some triangle beads. These are cool. And let's use these tile beads. So this might look a little bit Christmas in July or not. I kind of think this almost looks like some of the colors in that they might use in Dia de los Muertos, like the Day of the Dead. These are so cool. So I'm going to open up my tile beads here and get a few of those on my table. And then I'm going to open up my triangles. This is a beautiful shade of red. This is called Matte Opaque Red, and they are absolutely cool. And so we're going to combine these two beads. So they're going to have this kind of a look. So the triangle is going to be pointed up and the tile is going to be flat. So I've got my needle threaded. I'm also going to bring in these 11-O's again in this bronzy color because they're super cool and they are my favorite for this kind of a project. So I'm going to take my tile and then I'm going to put on 2 seed beads weirdly directly onto the needle, and then that red bead, red triangle, and the triangle shape matters, or the orientation matters, but I'm going to do something fun here just to have something for us to play with here. So something fun for us to do. And actually, you know what? I'm going to do one other thing. Sorry, I'm going to restring this. So I'm going to do 4 or 5 seed beads up top. I want to create a loop at one end of my piece. So I need a way to attach this to something. So I'm going to start with 5 seed beads. Then I'm going to go back to my tile, and then I'm going to add 2. Now this could also work for a bracelet design. So you could also do a bracelet. You could even do an earring like this. So just something for you to think about, but we're making purse charms today. So, not an earring or a bracelet, but you can certainly take this same technique and do the same thing. I'm going to pull these on because I don't have a lot of room left on my needle. And then I'm going to put 2 more seed beads. And now I'm going to put this next triangle on going in the opposite direction. So, so that one is upwards like that. I want this one to be going in that direction. Actually, that's the exact same direction, Deb. So I'm going to take that one off. You can take these off once you string them on. At this stage, I'm actually going to put it on the opposite hole from that one. I think it is. Well, if it isn't, yeah, it is opposite. Okay. So now I'm going to come in with a couple more seed beads, another tile bead, And yeah, and then another 2 seed beads and another triangle. And I want the triangle bead now to be in the hole that I started with on the bead. So like that. Okay, and then a couple more seed beads, and then one more tile. And we're gonna do just like that. So this looks really pretty together, such a pretty color combination. And I actually like the idea of a tassel at the end of this piece. So I'm gonna do another loop here. And I should probably move this up a little further so you guys can see what I'm doing. Sorry about that. So I'm going to move all of these guys up, move these over, and I'm going to do 5 more seed beads at the bottom to give us a generous loop to work with. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like so. And I'm going to attach, this guy. And then I'm going to just go up through this other bead, this 2-hole bead that we just came down through. And what I want to happen here is a little loop. And I'll show you that in just a minute because I want to get this secure so I don't lose everything off my piece here. So just like that. And then I'm going to put on 2 seed beads, and then I'm going to go up through the other hole on my triangle. And I'm going to pull this together like that. So just like that. And then we're just going to finish by adding our 2 beads in between each of our 2-hole beads. And I'll show you how the triangle orientation looks in just a second. Thank you for the hearts, you guys. I know I'm missing comments. I'm so sorry. This one is, I always do these projects that are hard for me to watch the comments on. So I'm sorry about that. Oh, Debbie J, thank you. Thank you for that. This is just fun. So this is just the kind of thing, like, you know, Julie always says, she loves to play. I love to play too. You know, just sitting and creating with different colors and different textures and different, you know, shapes and sizes. And that's the thing about making jewelry and beading is you've got so many possibilities. And so this is the kind of thing that you just can do so much with. So here we've got our little dangle piece here. So let me grab 2 more seed beads, go up through that last 2-hole bead. Now I've got this section of 5 seed beads up top. This is our first loop. I'm going to go down these 5 beads, maybe, if I can see them, and then through my tile, and then I'm going to create that loop up top. And I'm holding on to my tail and also holding on to my working thread. Now we are coming right up to the top of the hour, but I want to show you what this does. So we've got lots of fun movement with our tassel at the bottom. So this is a great way to embellish your embellishment. So we're creating this embellishment. This again could be an earring too. And we've got our triangle beads in different places. So I actually ended up with 2. I wanted the middle one facing in the wrong direction, but I've got 1 facing one direction and 2 facing the other. You could do them like every other bead. And if you wanted to make this one longer, you could do that and just keep changing the orientation of that triangle. And this could work with all of the other beads that you've got. There's even beads in the show, some ginkgo beads. I did not pull out any ginkgo beads for this show, but you could use bar beads. You could use the triangles. You could use the crescents. So I'm going to finish this after the show today. And this, then all you need to do is grab your ring. So when you get these rings too, if you happen to get these rings, you get 10 pieces. So you can use these for 10 different projects. So you can take your split ring and attach it using your split ring opener. By the way, this is the best split ring opener I've ever used. I've used a lot of them over the years. I did not even know that Xuron made one until recently. And so this is great for opening up this large split ring that you've got. Just take that little tool, drop it into that split area, open up, and then you can attach. And I can't attach this one because it's not secure enough, but you can attach it on, and then you can attach this onto your bag. So this is just this is such a, just fun stuff to do. Fun little ways to use your 2-hole beads to do some really fun, colorful things with your 2-hole beads and jazz up your bags. And, bag charms are not just for summer. You want to jazz up your bags for fall and winter, bring some color into your life during those winter months. So lots of fun ideas, you guys. So I'm going to flip up and let me see if I can follow up on comments. Don't forget to check out, you guys. So remember, all of this stuff is limited stock because the store is closing and everything is 30% off. So close out your carts. Let me see what else. How do you add things to the split ring with the tool? Well, all you're gonna do is you're gonna open up your tool. In fact, let me add our bead. You're gonna open up your tool with the split ring holder, and then you're just going to slide the bead on and slide it all the way through, and now you've got your little bead onto your ring. So holding on to the split ring holder until you get that bead on. Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry if that wasn't in frame. So you're going to take your opener. I'm going to split ring, open up that split ring. So open it up. And then you're going to take your bead and you're just going to slide it into that opening that the split ring opener is giving you. It's giving you a little space for you to slide something on. So once you get that bead on, it's on. And then you can add more from there, and you can add your dangles. Let's add a tassel. So I'm going to take my split ring opener, and then I'm going to take that ring that's on my tassel, and I'm going to drop that on. And once my ring is on there, I'm just going to pull it on and wait till it gets past the place where it meets, the wire meets. And now I've got a little tassel on there too. So super easy. This is just to help you get it open. Then you'll use your fingers to put on the actual pieces and parts onto your split ring. So this is a great deal right now at 30% off. Xuron tools are a little on the pricier side, so it's a great opportunity to pick up a great tool, high quality tool. And so that's what I've got for you today, guys. Bag charms, 2-hole beads, Don't forget to check out, get all of those things on their way to you, and check your emails for a special little something coming your way if you are an email subscriber. If you are hanging around the rest of the week, Julie will be back on Thursday for her show. She'll also be here on Monday, and I'll be back next Tuesday. We'll do something fun again. Thank you for hanging out. Thank you for being patient with me today. And I will see you guys next week. Have a wonderful week. Go and make some things. I'd love to see what you make. Bye, everybody.